slowly falling down cooler闇へ but never going back touch 向かえどうして高く上げてなお大ボーナなんてもうグッバイしょこりもなくファイナカマと Need another day I will run away from nothing no more どこまでも笑がってこう今超えてく Also ready to break it up I'm not afraid yeah break it Keep it point throw in the dark 自分の力に変え wipe out 今ねじ曲げる視線 I never fall in I never ever care for them 今立ち向かう and I defeat myself I gotta go, skin myself, save for backwood I gotta go, skin myself, see a suspect Time away from me, shut my shadow Smoke, let us set my tongue on a surface I could Nobody knows, cause I can't flow Live fast for the
Hello YouTube, I'm back again with another video. I just found this interesting article, and it's crazy. It actually is related to Yu-Gi-Oh! That took place in Marshfield. I will be able to explain what's going on in this situation and give my thoughts, but another YouTuber actually brought this to my attention, so I decided to look into this article. So while I look into it, I'm going to be able to read to you guys as to what truly went on. As it says, a Springman field has been charged after a fight during a card game tournament in Marshfield this week. So this took place, I think I would say before July 12, 2024. So this is like before this article was made. And let me continue to the next paragraph. According to court documents, 26-year-old Haven Burkhart is charged with first-degree burglary, possession of a controlled substance, attempted stealing, and fourth-degree assault. Investigators say on July 9th, officers responded to the tournament because a man was threatening other customers inside the store. When officers got there, they separated Burkhart from the fight and arrested him. Witnesses tell KY3 the tournament was a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game tournament. A victim told officers he and Burkhart were playing a game, and once the game was over, the victim asked Burkhart to play faster next time. The tournament consisted of timed games after the victim made the suggestion. Burkhart replied with a threat to the victim. The victim then called 911, and the other people in the tournament attempted to calm Burkhart down, but weren't able to. The victim told authorities that Burkhart tried to steal a pack of cards from the counter. According to witnesses, the pack of cards was one of the winning prizes of the tournament. Authorities say at one point during the altercation, Burkhart assaulted the store owner, and at the time, another witness restrained Burkhart. As officers were escorting Burkhart to a patrol car to take him to jail, authorities say they walked past Burkhart's car and noticed someone in it. According to authorities, a man was in the passenger seat of Burkhart's car. Authorities identified the man and arrested him for active warrants out of Greene County for failure to appear for tampering with a motor vehicle. According to court documents, officers on the scene also found drug paraphernalia in Burkhart's car. Before officers started driving Burkhart to the jail, he told them he was overdosing on heroin. Burkhart told authorities he had used heroin 30-45 minutes ago beforehand. EMS crews arrived to look at Burkhart. Officers also found cocaine in Burkhart's wallet. During the investigation, authorities said Burkhart had 4 grams of cocaine on him. Burkhart is being held in the Webster County Jail on a $50,000 bond. He is scheduled to appear in court on July 23. Let me see if there's anything else. So again, now I'm actually going to explain my thoughts about this. Honestly, good. It's honestly good that this man's going to jail. Normally, I don't advocate snitching, but this is rightfully deserved because this man was clear danger towards the people at the local store. And not only is it good news for them, it's good news for me as to why I literally moved from Yu-Gi-Oh! Because I don't know if I mentioned before, but I've actually stated while playing this game, the player base can be very toxic. So, in a way, some people could say that the victim was harsh for telling him to play faster, but it was noted earlier that, again, I know I'm fully aware about the rules. Like, unfortunately, like there is like a time limit for those who don't play Yu-Gi-Oh. And just to make it clear for you guys, but what happens is that, like, even if you when you're about to win, if your opponent has uh, more life points than you and you have the advantage, um, what happens that if you don't go into your battle phase, so it's gonna be hard to explain to you guys. If you don't go into your battle phase and you're still in your main phase and you still have the upper hand and your opponent has more life points, they can match to beat you even though it's still your turn, because the only way you can be able to, like, beat your opponent is if you if you go straight to battle phase and attack with whatever you have. So if you don't have enough monsters, or after they um, disrupted your cards, like whether it may be from the hand or field, they have the chance to prevent you from winning. So it's not really about who has the most wins, it's about really who has the most life points. So Burkhart clearly took it to heart, and he started to become very violent after that remark. But I'm pretty sure, again, it was more than just a remark. As you can tell from the article, he clearly he was under like a substance, whether again heroin. They even mentioned all the other things that were in this man's system. And there's really no, as under again, no really excuse, because he needs to be held accountable. He made those decisions himself. No one forced him to take drugs. But I just find it absolutely stupid he decided to take cocaine, or again heroin, whatever that may be, whatever possible drugs for him to actually do that before the card game is actually stupid in my opinion. So he should, again, if he really was in the mood, if he really wanted to get high, he whether his mood may be, if he was bored or whatever, he should have done it after locals. But the thing is, he had to drag everybody in there, and then even before he was playing, he was actually harassing customers. So it was more than just the remark, you guys. But one thing, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he was playing a meta deck. So those who aren't familiar with meta decks, so that could be the reason why he was stalling for time. He could be playing a deck where it's like his whole strategy is to basically stall the opponent and make it so that not only could he not be able to do anything, so he could waste time, so that the opponent, like I said earlier about the time limit, so that the opponent would not have a chance to be able to, like, play his deck, limit his options, and so that he will, like, force him to concede the duel, which is actually till this day is still very irritating, still pisses me off, because I've been through that situation. And to be fair, you guys, I honestly believe there should not really be a time limit for Yu-Gi-Oh. Again, if they are to include time limits, I mentioned this earlier. I'm surprised Konami didn't implement this. If if it's a player's turn, I feel like a player should at least, the most they should ever play is like 5 or 6 minutes. That way, it gives other players a chance to actually do something. So there's no way even a player should ever spend 15, 20 minutes or half 45, again, whether it may be 45 minutes or half an hour to finish their turn. That just tells you how ridiculous of a game it is. It's actually unbalanced as a game. It literally breaks all the factors of how a game is meant to be played. It is literally missing in on how games are supposed to be treated and how they're supposed to be implemented. So, don't not of course you could blame the officials for making these type of rules, especially when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh, because I've been through that. But at the same time, it's like the opponent needs to take accountability too by outright stalling, knowing that the time, knowing how important time is, and that if they have more life points than you do, and even if though you might be able to kill them that turn, it doesn't matter the turn or not. It's whenever if you're able to if it's whether you're able to, like, attack them during the battle phase or deal damage outside of battle phase, whether it might be card effects, it doesn't really matter, because, like, the phase is what counts, because it's more about focusing on trying to put as much time as you can so your opponent doesn't get a chance to actually do you in. so that they won't even have a chance to like basically outright like get rid of your board, as well as be able to like overwhelm your field. And now nowadays, like, now considering how fast the game's, how can you be able to like continue playing if the whole, like, what is really the point if the whole strategy is about preventing your opponent from playing? Because that in itself does not feel like a balanced game. That is not that's something that shouldn't exist. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is because like the whole purpose is so that the player doesn't have a chance to like do anything, and that's the best way to win according to like the players. That is outright, that's reason enough to actually be angry. Normally I wouldn't justify being angry with any game, but if the whole purpose is to like make sure the other player, the opposing player, does not play, I would justify it. I'll be able to like oblige to that person. But I've been talking way too much about it. But you guys, like, the thing is, the point I didn't mention is that, like, at least with other trading card games, besides Yu-Gi-Oh, one thing I can say, at least with other trading card games, you actually get to play your turn. You get several chances to actually be able to play more than 3 or 4 or 5 turns. At least you could be able to like touch your opponent, and they don't outright kill you, because the game is heavily fixated on making sure that the opponent never gets the chance to do anything. But besides that, Burkhart was just outright idiot for us. So it wouldn't surprise me at the end of the day if he was playing a deck where it's like if it was solely on like stalling for time. And those kind of players like are downright dirty scumbags, because they're fully aware like Konami is allowing them to actually bend the rules. And let me say this, you guys, I can assure you that for those who might not realize, stalling is actually considered cheating in Yu-Gi-Oh! So if one of the judges were to find out that you were stalling or whatever, you outright get banned. Whether the delay maybe you're in the washroom for 20 or 30 minutes, or you're just waiting on, just sitting there not doing anything, that in itself is reason enough for that person to actually lose by default, as well as outright ban. But on top of that, like, Burkhart himself is just outright degenerate, because this isn't the first time he's actually committed a crime. Because like I'm reading right now, I mentioned, like, he's actually had convictions before. Again, whether it be like possession of drugs, like him disturbing the peace, assaulting people, and the other part was that even though he did not top locals, he tried to take every single winning prize from that local store. So this feels, I don't know if this, I'm not sure if this is a first for anybody that's happened at a local trading card store. But I can't help but believe that others have done this. But I think maybe because this one has actually drawn attention as to why they're actually addressing it. But this doesn't feel like this is a first for me. But this guy had the nerve, considering even though it hasn't been confirmed whether he topped or not. Before he decided to leave, he outright decided to take all the winning prizes, and before he even had the chance, the store owner stopped him. He grabbed him, and then in response, Burkhart decides to assault the store owner, because the good thing was that the victim that Burkhart was threatening called the cops on time before Burkhart tried to do more collateral damage. So that's how they were able to deal with the situation a lot more sooner. Because I can assure you, even though one thing I can't say, it is a gamble. The packs are a gamble. You're not guaranteed to get the rare card or the ultimate rare or the money card. But there's a guarantee. The more prizes you win, it increases your odds of actually getting a rare card that can actually be able to cover like the tournament fee that you spent on. The money that you spent to actually be able to like register for the tournament. And that basically, I don't know how much the entry fee was, had to be at least $5, but it's far more enough. Like depending on the card they pull, it's far more enough for them to actually cover up for that fee, as well as all the past fees. But it's like it's more than just that. It's whether maybe to cover expenses or to give you access to new cards, or to actually bottom line just basically make more profit. But good thing they managed to prevent what was going on, because like although yes there are people who did get assaulted, the cops were able to show up ASAP, and they made sure that he's in handcuffs, which was definitely justified, which is 100% warranted, because let's say they call the cops the moment like he tried to steal the packs. That the timing would actually made a huge difference. But I don't know whether it was impeccable timing, you guys, but they managed to call the cops before like he ever tried to steal the packs. And some people may think it's not a big deal, but at the same time, it's like winning. It's like you trying to pick a lottery and expecting to like get it for free, expecting free lottery without you having to like put any money into it. And all the games are dependent on. Let me repeat that. The game is entirely dependent who has like the most wins, and based on your tops. So if you manage to get first, you'll get the most prizing. If you get second, obviously you get less than first. Same thing going for third, you get less than first and second. Probably when you're fourth, I'm not sure how this works here at locals. Mine's completely different. But if you're possibly fourth or fifth, you might not get any extra prizing. But you're at least guaranteed to get one if you paid for entry. But this, I can assure you guys, I can't really see Burkhart ever going to locals, because since he has a record, and he's of course it's going to be of an explanation, and there's pretty much physical evidence, as well as here's you read this article. I can't see this. I could definitely see this man being kicked out of every local trading card store because of how he reacted, and it was definitely not right. But for sure, if I was him, I don't know how he's gonna clean his gig up. I don't know how he's gonna have to cover his identity, because once somebody recognizes him, he will never get the chance to play at locals. He doesn't have to really say anything at this end, but if someone were to recognize him, kudos. Because at the same time, I understand. And I've said this before. I guarantee there are more people like him at local card stores. This isn't a first. It just managed to get. It just managed to blow up on mainstream, and then the KY3 was able to bring it up, and thinking how much of a big deal it was. But he made it a big deal because like he could be the first that was caught actually going out being ignorant at a local card store, where the whole purpose behind that is to build a community and actually get along with people and actually like cope with stress. And he's actually ruined it for a lot of people, because whatever other people are going through, it can't be any different than his situation, because we all are going through rough times. We're all busy, and Yu-Gi-Oh, as well as possibly every other trading card game, when we decide to like participate, is to help let us like be relieved of all our like stress, whatever past problems we want to ignore, in order to like move on and be able to like put our differences aside and realize like we can be actually able to like adapt with people with something we have in common in the community that we're all very fond of. And that's something that can't be taken away, because we're all willing to like appreciate the game for what it's done for us and how we grew up with it. That's something that Burkhart will never be able to like experience ever again, and that's very unfortunate. But at the same time, it was rightfully deserved. He should never get the opportunity because since whether he may have the passion for trading cards, it's all down the drain because he clearly had no honor for his opponent. He had no honor and no respect for the store owner. And this is what led to him today and what this messy situation has brought. And he won't be able to come back from it. And what can he do to actually be able to like clean his slate? Either he has to change his name, not only change his name, change his appearance. But although I may be going a little overboard, but he literally has no chance going ever competing at locals. Because especially when your name is tainted, as well as people are able to recognize you. Like, no doubt that he's most likely not going to be wanted ever again, and that's something I would avoid. But at the same time, it's like that was also probably a good idea why I actually left Yu-Gi-Oh! Because imagine if I encountered that situation, and it may not be it may not be in that area, but who knows, you guys? Because I mentioned Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be very toxic, and these are players you definitely want to avoid. So your best bet is not even try to befriend them, but don't even look at them. Don't even try to like associate with the person. Don't try to make amends. Do not try to like even like reason with these people, because whatever the reason may be why they hate you or why they despise you, they're gonna keep it to themselves and they're not gonna be open about it. So your best bet is just don't deal with the drama and just move forward. But overall, I've been way too long with this video, guys, but hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to check for more upcoming content later in the future. Be sure to check your notifications. Comment, like, subscribe. Thank you.